Remove it then, and nothing else fitted.
Because the music's very well suited to that chart sound, the mainstream chart sound in America. Very wide open melodies, very direct.
From New York, your last chance for a sandwich. It's The Late Show with David Letterman.
Our next guest has one of the most popular songs in radio history. That's unbelievable, isn't it? In radio history. It's on her debut CD, which is called Now in a Minute. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Donna Lewis. Donna.
American radio is totally different. It's much more fractured than here. They chase smaller target audiences, and they do play a wider and broader variety of music, and therefore more styles of music do have a chance of getting to the ears of the public. But of course you don't tend to get as many mega big single hits simply because of the narrow casting of the radio station's style. The Donna Lewis record was one, of course, that suited 6 or 7 formats, so the Americans were bound to pick up on it quite fast.
And we got some great music for you in this half hour. Sitting right next to us, Donna Lewis.
Hi.
Name of her song. It's on every radio station. You can't turn on the radio.
What number is it now?
Oh my God. Well, I think it's still number 1 on the airplay chart.
Sometimes records spread like a fire across America. Like one station will hear about another station playing it, and then they'll start playing it, and then boom, 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 boom. It's like a chain reaction.
I believe it broke out of Tampa, and as soon as it got played in Tampa, there were 18 to 24-year-old girls calling and requesting it, and going into stores and asking for it. And it happened so quickly that the company really didn't have time to keep up with it. I mean, it exploded virtually overnight.
Okay, let's talk about Donna Lewis.
Donna Lewis. That's
Donna
right.
Lewis.
We were playing Donna Lewis about 62 times a week. If Donna Lewis is getting played 62 times a week on every station across the country, that's going to add up to about 4,000 plays, and you're going to have the #1 song in the country.
Donna Lewis's I Love You Always Forever is turning into the most popular songs ever charted by Billboard magazine. Why?
This was the first song that ever reached an audience of 100 million. The closest competitor was Mariah Carey. Always Be My Baby, also in 1996. And she's an artist that's been around for 7 years. So for a new artist to come out and do something like that is pretty incredible.
I think it was number 2 in Israel for like 2 months. I mean, it was a number 6 in Mexico, and I was definitely top 10 in just about every major territory in the world.
I thought, maybe it might get into the charts, but never ever thought it would get to number 2. The most simple of songs that you write, and that is the one that does it for you.
And you're just really good. This is really quite poignant stuff.
Well, I love writing atmospheric music and
I think
ethereal
that Atlantic
kind of
are
sound.
going after what's hot on radio. They realized that radio was heading back toward pure pop, and saw the nugget they had in I Love You Always Forever and signed her up.
One of the reasons why Atlantic's always been successful with female artists is from the very beginning, a lot of the people working there were interested in female vocalists, particularly Jerry Wexler, who was the major Atlantic producer. For instance, he discovered Aretha. He was a big fan of Dusty's. If you remember, Dusty Springfield went over to America to record Dusty in Memphis, which is widely considered to be her best album. So I think as a label, they're very sympathetic towards female artists. It has a lot of women in executive positions, and that's quite important. Certainly in America, there's quite a strong sense of female solidarity, the sort of each one teach one approach, and I think women tend to network and look out for each other more in the States.
Our next guest has taken the music world by storm with her new CD, Now in a Minute, here to perform her hit single, I Love You Always Forever. Please welcome Donna Lewis!
She's just so great, that woman. I mean, she's just so natural. The first time she came into the dressing room, she burst into, you've got the most unbelievable blue eyes I've ever seen.
I love that song.
I'm so glad.
It's a great song. It makes me think of my little boy.
Well, that's nice. Has he got blue eyes?
They're turning green, but they're kind of bluish.
It was all about Wales, actually. It was funny. She was fascinated with the accent. And she said, do you speak any Welsh? And I said, well, a little bit, I remember. So I said something to her in Welsh. Sut ydych chi heddiw?
Sut ydych chi heddiw? What does that mean? What does that mean?
That means how 3 years ago, if somebody had said to me, right, you're going to be doing a talk show in front of 40 million people, I would have said, I'm sorry, there's no way I can do that. But yeah, I have enjoyed it, especially, you know, I've just enjoyed talking to people, and most of the people I've met in America have been great.
Donna Lewis, now in a minute, the CD, pick it up.
Now this lady's from Cardiff, and she's currently #2 in America, making her debut appearance on Top of the Pops. Here's Donna Lewis.
I had rung her mum just to check her address because I wanted to send her a birthday card. I'd heard nothing about it, and her mum just said, oh, you've read in the papers then, and I didn't know what she was talking about.
I can't remember if it was 60 that she started, and then it, you know, it creeping up to 30, and then I remember it getting to 13, and then it seemed to go quickly.
It went shooting up the charts in America to #2, so thrilled with that, and then got to #5 over in this country, which was even better.
All the time I've known Donna, she's had this one overriding goal, and that is to be successful as a singer-songwriter. And she hasn't deviated for one moment. It's been music all the way.
She knew what she wanted and was going to stick it out till she got it.
My father was always playing the piano. He was a jazz musician. He used to have his own band. Dad and Donna were quite often playing together, and Donna singing.
I was introduced to music at a very early age, and about 6 or 7, I really wanted to play the piano, and that's how it all started. And then during school, my school years, I formed various bands and pop groups.
Brings back a few memories, that, doesn't it? We decided on the name Magie Noir because we were going to have a look, and we were all going to dress the same. So we all wore very wide black trousers and black polo neck jumpers.
The reason we got together was there was this like French music competition. The first year we entered, we sang Killing Me Softly in French. We won that year, and then the following year we wrote our own song. So I wrote the music and Vicky, my friend, wrote the lyrics. And we won again, and it kind of, we entered lots of different Eisteddfods, and of course it was great.
We're going to be doing our A-levels. That's right. Yeah. Look at us with all the lip gloss on us.
She's always been really serious about her music, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Out of all of the 5 of us that originally sang together, it was her that showed the sort of the commitment, if you like, to carry on and do it.
She studied flute and piano at the Welsh College of Music and graduated there, all right, and then I eventually started singing with a couple of bands, writing her own stuff and performing.
My first impressions of Donna was she was a really nice kid, nothing more than that really. I actually fell in love with her voice. First of all, it was just one of those voices that raised the little hairs on the back of the neck. And then I found out that she wrote songs, so I brought her into the studio, and she really began the process of learning her craft as a songwriter, a recording engineer, and a producer. That's really where it all began.
was writing and recording my songs and sending stuff off to record companies. And then I did a load of piano bar work. I went to Europe, mainly Scandinavia, and I did that for about 4 years.
Female performers come up through the piano bar scene, which is really just playing in a hotel or in a restaurant. And that's a tried and tested way of really learning about your performance and learning about how to use your voice. And I think for Donna, it obviously stood her in good stead, so that now she comes across very professionally and very assured. She has that real confidence and that poise.
Yeah, absolutely. And the intro as well, I feel like.
Yeah, the only thing is with the intro, I want it to be...
I think she tried to get a record deal in the UK. I don't know what happened or how they missed that over there. But I'm glad because, you know, I got her demo and I was very pleased that she was available.
What the industry certainly did when we were looking for a record deal was focus squarely on whatever the current trends might be with respect to the top 20.
Bands, mainly boys with guitars, that's what's selling. I mean, Oasis are the biggest sellers in this country, so they're really looking for that and imitations of that.
I had held a belief for a long time, before we ever came to America, that it's got to be different. And from the very first day of arriving in New York, there was a positive reaction.
It seems to be a very boy industry over there. It's a very sensitive song that females responded to, and there aren't any females doing A&R over there. You know, maybe they didn't get it.
Of course, there were moments that were very, very frustrating, but there was always a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, even when I was writing, and then you'd have a rejection from a record company and you'd feel really deflated. And then you'd go in and write another song and you'd come out and it was maybe one of the best songs you've ever written. And then you're, you know, up in the air, you're on cloud 9 again. And don't look back now. Don't look back, over a year has gone by.
Part of the reason Donna's so big in the States is just in terms of sheer numbers. There are more people to buy her records, but not only that, more women. And it's interesting that women are the consumers that make an artist a mainstream artist. Quite often when an artist is cult or of minority status, it's mainly men that are buying the records. But women can quite often take an artist over the top into real mainstream chart or international sales.
We came to Woodstock at the end of our second visit to New York when we were knocking on doors of record companies here.
I mean, it has so much history. There's so many musicians and artists that live here, and I think that's what I like about it. It does remind me of Wales a little bit, because I've been in so many different cities, and then we came to Woodstock, and I just felt for the first time that I'd kind of come home. I need to be somewhere where I can look out that window and see some green and mountains, and I just don't want to be cooped up somewhere where I just can't see the sky. That doesn't do me much good at all. Lit by a blue flame of gold on Crystal Palace, and they would dance along through the beds of white lily downs, and then we rose above in the moonlight to watch the city sleeping, and this beautiful magical place, and a long one to leave, and we'll be floating down to Genève. She wrote the song Genève for my two children, Sophie and Emma. It's about a magical kingdom under the sea, and at that particular time, Sophie and Emma were really into mermaids. They love it, it's one of their favourite songs. We'll be floating down
She's a great singer as well. The song's really nice and it sounds nice, doesn't it, Emma?
No. I feel it's a bit embarrassing, really, because this, Without Love, has been a flop, basically, this song of mine. I mean, goes into the charts at number 39, then out the next week. So, but we're going to do an acoustic version.
It's always very hard when you've had a massive single as your opening offer to follow these records up. And I think, you know, most single artists that one can think of, and bands as well, do have that difficulty when one song has dominated the charts in Britain and America. The previous record, I Love You, for example, doesn't appear to be going away. People still want to hear that. So when Donna Lewis releases a follow-up, the timing has got to be right or it won't work, because the audience still wants that first monster hit single. I would recommend for her that she hadn't released another single nearly as quickly as she did.
We made a decision as a company that we really wanted to go out with another track when we did, because I think it was Christmas time and we just felt like we wanted people to like know that she had more than one song that was great on the album.
It's been performing phenomenal here in New York. Unfortunately, the country, if they don't see a number of stations having success with it, they'll bail out on it. And since Without Love didn't work nationally, other stations said, well, I don't know, there's only a few stations having success with it, we should take it off the air.
I don't think that necessarily means that Donna Lewis is done in the U.S. But I think her voice being incredibly unique, very sweet, it's going to take a very particular kind of song for her to be able to deliver another hit.
I still think Without Love's a hit, and I'm gonna get that in a soundtrack someday so that I can prove that that song is a hit. I really do.
I don't wanna hear your name. I don't wanna feel your pain. And I don't have to play your game. I'm stronger, things have changed. I'm no longer improved.
Coca-Cola approached me to write one of their commercials, and basically they asked me to do a Donna Lewis song for Coca-Cola, which I did. Then flew to New York, where we mixed it with Kevin, and then did the video. Allowed to kind of do what I do best, and I sort of came up with an idea and lyrics, and they came in when I recorded it and just pointed out a few things that we had to add. Basically, you know, a few classic Coca-Colas and a few Coca-Colas in there.
Favor, would you mind looking at our camera and just saying hello, Coca-Cola?
Tell me when. Hello, Coca-Cola.
Can you do it one more time?
Okay, I'm trying to do it with some enthusiasm. Hello, Coca-Cola.
We don't know what you need, but we're fine.
Yeah. This is all new for me, really. I mean, I've been doing 2 videos. I mean, I loved the first one because I was slightly involved with it all, and it was like a lot of fun. People are going to see you for the first time on television, especially when you're a new artist. I'm not like that bothered about images so much. I mean, to me, I just want to feel myself, and I love clothes anyway. These are they're lovely trousers. I just want to sort of feel comfortable, and you know, I haven't got an unusual kind of image. I mean, I'm pretty normal.
I like the idea of people that produce themselves and play everything and arrange things because they know what they want to sound like. What I've discovered in doing this job for the last 5 years is that if an artist really knows what they want to sound like, you're going to have interesting stuff.
And I'm very grateful for this radio station, this wonderful station, for playing this record. I love you always forever.
In a sense, she's made for life. In the United States, they'll never forget that record. It's part of their musical folklore.
I think that I Love You Always Forever is one of those songs we'll be hearing 20 years from now.
Simply put, she is going to be here for a while. Radio needs something like her.
I think great pop songs don't really have a culture. I think that her music is pretty universal.
Whatever happens in the future, I don't think about because she's done it.
We've always done things that we think we really wanted to have a go at. You have to work hard, but, you know, dreams do come true.
Radio 1, Tony Blackburn.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the exciting new sound of Radio 1.
All right, pop figures, here we go then. It's cuddly BBC 2 celebrating 30 years of Radio 1, not half, with a fun-filled evening of cheesy memorabilia, all right?
Hey, got no respect.
Oh,
What do you think
no.
you do? And he painted matched-up men and matched-up cats and dogs.
And if that don't bring tears to your eyes, then get ready for our tune.
This Our Tune begins in the 60s.
Chrissy Baby and the whole gang are here, as it was, as it is. Radio 1 night starts at 9 with the Radio 1 story. Tonight on BBC 2. All right?
This is BBC 2 getting into